I don't want to be unprofessional.
The best way to bet the NFL is win totals. In this win projection series, you will get to see the logic behind Big Rye and the Fat Guy's win total projections and how you can win whatever contest you decide to enter for the 2018 NFL season. Fat Guy, how did the Panthers do last year?
They did pretty decent. They made the playoffs. Of course, they lost to the New Orleans Saints on the road, division rival. They had exciting games against Minnesota and Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers came back for the one game, thanks to my fantasy keeper league. They did decently, but you could tell they really weren't contenders for the Super Bowl, and that's important.
Carolina Panthers head coach is Ron Rivera. In his 7 seasons with the Panthers...
It's not a Buick Riviera, it's Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera, the riverboat Ron.
There you go.
He's gone 64-47. Fat Guy, your thoughts on Ron?
It's a pretty decent record, actually. I have felt that this team is weaker than the record has shown. They did have that one season, I think 15-1, where they lost to the Falcons. That was a really impressive season, but I think he's an above-average coach, but really the buck kind of stops there for me.
Well. Look who's the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. This is going to be Norv Turner's first season as the Panthers O coordinator. Fat Guy, have you heard of Norv Turner?
Yeah, the only thing I haven't heard of is the name Norvell needing to be shortened. Who names their kid Norvell?
On the defensive side, it is Eric Washington's first year as the defensive coordinator. He spent the last 6 years as the Panthers' defensive line coach.
The Panthers' front 7 and D-line were the strength of their team for the last, forever since I can remember, to be perfectly honest. So it kind of makes it's a natural transition. But being a defensive coordinator and coaching a positional group, those are two entirely different things. Mind you, Ron Rivera was an 85 Bears member. He's an ex-player. He coached the Chicago Bears defense when they went to the Super Bowl against the Colts, which they lost. But nonetheless, Rivera knows defenses, so I'm sure the defensive playbook won't get too far out of his grasp.
Now we're going to run through the notable player additions. There's been quite a few familiar names that people will recognize. We'll start with running back, which happened today as they signed C.J. Anderson.
I don't know why people don't like him. He's good. He's a good player.
He is a good player.
Denver would have wanted him. Fantasy, he's even decent too. I like C.J. Anderson. It's a nice pickup.
Another name is wide receiver Torrey Smith.
Yeah, whatever.
As well as a first-round rookie DJ Moore at receiver.
Out of Maryland. We'll see, though. He's a first-round receiver. It has all the hype. But I'm not going to pass any judgment on rookies. Of course, they're supposed to know better than us, the GMs. But we'll see.
They also added guard Jeremiah Sirles.
Sirles?
Yeah,
he'll plug in. That's just an Andrew Norwell reactionary signing. They lost their guard, so they picked another one up.
And at D-tackle, one of our favorites, Dontari Poe.
Me and Dontari Poe, if you put us on a seesaw, it should be level, I would imagine.
Dontari Poe is one of my favorite stories about the first year he had real success in the NFL. He gave up barbecue.
Well, that's one thing I probably couldn't do.
Now at corner, they've added Ross Cockrell as well as rookies Dante Jackson and Rashawn Galdren.
Those are rookie.
Rashawn Galden.
Yeah, you're not really good at enunciating. Ross Cockrell, aside from having a fun last name to say, isn't really worth a roster spot. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they get better. They've been so weak in the secondary for years. Remember that game where Atlanta put up over 500 yards? I kind of see the same in this secondary.
And the final addition is former Tennessee safety Denoris Searcy.
Yeah, Denoris Searcy's decent though. When you're playing on the secondary this bad, you're definitely going to stand out if you're Denoris Searcy.
Now for notable player subtractions, they've lost quite a few guys that were pretty good players for them, starting at running back with Jonathan Stewart.
Jay Stu, an oldie but a goodie. He has lost a step, so I'll say it's an upgrade having C.J. Anderson over him, but I do like Jay Stu as a football player. More than Christian McCaffrey, believe it or not.
They also lost Andrew Norwell, the guard that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, he went to Jacksonville. That was a sneaky signing by Jacksonville. He's a strong interior lineman. Some say the best guard. I'm not buying it, but it's top 7 guard, yeah. Hard to come by, yeah. So this is a big hole to fill.
Speaking of big holes to fill, defensive end Charles Johnson is gone.
Yeah, but that was a few years ago. He's kind of at the tail end of his career. I'm not sure he's going to get picked up anywhere. He should retire a Carolina Panther and retire tomorrow.
And finally at safety, Kurt Coleman.
Kurt Coleman is notable for getting his block knocked off by Trent Richardson in a game against the Cleveland Browns when he started for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not a big Kurt Coleman fan, so this is an upgrade if they're putting Searcy in his place.
Now let's pop through the roster quite quickly. At quarterback, obviously Cam Newton.
He's a prima donna. Who chews gum when you're playing a physical sport? Like, what if you swallowed it? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. He is good, though, let's be realistically, mostly athletically. His arm accuracy leaves something to be desired. But Cam Newton is a decent quarterback. He is up there. He's in the top tier. So we'll see what he brings to the table this year.
At running back, C.J. Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, and Cameron Artis-Payne.
I'd be really skeptical of this group if they didn't have C.J. Anderson. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's really just a receiver, it feels like. If you've seen him run, it's kind of uninspiring, but he can catch the ball in the backfield, and there is a need to have third down running backs. It is a thing. With C.J. Anderson with the early yards, and then Christian McCaffrey on third down, that should be decent. I really thought Cameron Artis-Payne had a shot at having some sort of breakout year, but that's definitely curtailed with the signing of C.J. Anderson.
At wide receiver, your boy, Devin Funchess, as well as second-round rookie Curtis Samuel, first-round rookie this year, DJ Moore, Torrey Smith, Jarius Wright.
Exactly, right. We've all heard these names, and then you hear buzzwords. Although Devin Funchess is my boy, I did watch some tape on him, and I really liked him last year. He really improved. That's probably why they let Benjamin go, because they felt that Funchess took that next step, and I kind of think he has. So this should be a good year for Funchess. This should be a little bit of fantasy posturing here.
Now on the offensive line, left to right, we got Matt Khalil, Jeremiah Surles, Ryan Khalil, Trey Turner, and Darrell Williams.
Trey Turner, decent player. The Khalil brothers, I mean, Matt Khalil in his first year with Minnesota was unbelievable. He has been worse every year since. You pair him up with his brother. His brother's an alright center. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. Jeremiah Surles, it's just a guy. And at right tackle, Darrell Williams, it's, again, just a guy. So it's tough to say with this offensive grouping. Mind you, the last time I said this about the offensive line for the Carolina Panthers, they went 15-1. So maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Now on the defensive line, on the outside rushing the passer, you have Julius Peppers, Mario Addison, Wes Horton. And then on the inside, you've got guys like Don Terry Poe, Kawan Short, last year's first-round pick, Vernon Butler, as well as Kyle Love.
Kyle Love, stop the run, Kyle Love, lose the weight, Kyle Love. There's a lot of names on there, like Julius Peppers, first ballot Hall of Famer. But come on, guys, he's really, really beating Father Time.
2002 draft pick.
Yeah, 2002 was he second overall, I think, for the Panthers. Peppers is an incredible football player, but this is just... he's pretty old. Kawan Short is an excellent, excellent interior tackle. And Don Terry Poe is going to have the luxury of not having to play nose tackle and just eat up space. So he might get a little bit more movement with him and Short in the middle. It's kind of a really heavy and difficult line to deal with. Mario Addison's okay too. I mean, I'm just going to have to say average for this grouping to start. But let's see. There is some potential there. But Peppers is old, and I as much as I respect him, he's old. What else am I going to say?
And these linebackers help the front seven with obviously Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, probably the best linebacker grouping in the league, let's be real. Thomas Davis, another old guy, but Thomas Davis, every time I think this guy can't come back, look how many knee surgeries he's had. He's unbelievable. Kuechly is a household name. He's unbelievable too. Shaq Thompson, another first-round pick. They're loaded with talent at the linebacker position, so that's definitely the strength of this football team.
Now on to the secondary. I'm just going to name these guys off. James Bradbury, Ross Cockrell, Dante Jackson, Captain Munnerlyn, Rashawn Golden, Mike Adams, Colin Jones, Denora Searcy.
Like I just ate, man. Honestly, this grouping will make you want to puke. They are that bad. Maybe this coordinator can hide that. If you get past a good pass rush, it's possible. But the linebackers I mentioned aren't really pass rushers, oddly enough. And the defensive ends are all in their late 30s. So it's going to be really tough for this defensive unit to come together like they have in years past.
Roster strength?
Oh, linebacker for sure. And come on, Cam Newton. He can be Superman. He is a league MVP. He's not my favorite personality, but that doesn't take away from him being a strong quarterback. Newton and the linebackers, they got to figure it out. And if they can't, they're going to have a bum season.
Roster weakness?
Oh, secondary first and foremost. Skill position is no big deal. We didn't really mention Greg Olsen earlier. That's kind of a strength too. But it feels like he's got one foot in the broadcasting booth and probably the foot that he's hurt last year. So I'm not as big on him either. Skill position, not so good. Secondary, just awful.
And for team grade, we have them at a D+.
Yeah, doubling down on the D's with a lot of these early teams. Yeah, I guess early alphabet hasn't been so kind.
Will Big Ryan the Fat Guy take the over, under, or is it a no bet? Currently, we have the Panthers winning 6.1 games with their schedule. The over-under for them has been set at 8.5 wins. That's a differential of 2.4 wins. This is a great opportunity to bet the under on the Panthers, 8.5 wins.
Now, I mentioned this earlier that you have to be patient and things will come. And here it is. Here's an opportunity to bet the under. And you're going to wonder, how are they going to win so many games? Think about their division. New Orleans Saints are clearly better than they are. Atlanta Falcons are better than they are. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we'll get to them later, but they've added some pieces to actually look a little bit better. Again, not one of my favorite teams, but they'll be competitive to a point this year. So this will be a tough year for the Panthers.
Hit that like button if you agree with Big Ryan the Fat Guy. Give us a comment below if you think we're stupid or if you want to guess the Fat Guy's weight. Subscribe for more non sequiturs and NFL projections. And good luck betting that Panthers under 8.5 wins.
Woo!